I ain't even tripping. I know everyone ain't innocent, but I thought we had rights in this country that we living in. I guess I wouldn't know, cause to you I'm just an Indian. You'd rather see me fail in life and end up in
I lost my kids because, CFS told us that we couldn't live there because of the mold, and it wasn't good for my baby because he got pneumonia, and they told us we weren't allowed to live there anymore. So they were taken from me, and then I left for treatment, thinking like, oh, I'll have a home when I get back, because that's what they told us, right? When they're renovated, you can have one of the houses here. And then it was just given to other people, and it's always been like that.
You just look at me with judgment in your eyes. You ain't seen the ups and downs and struggles of my life, and I've been trying since birth just to break this curse, but it just gets worse and worse and worse.
In December 2014, Basics Community News Service traveled to Mishkeegogamang First Nation, a remote Ojibway reserve located 7 hours north of Thunder Bay, Ontario. We visited Mish, as many refer to it, as part of a Serve the People project launched by the First Nation Solidarity Working Group of Union Local QP 3903.
No, the truck has arrived, and what we had intended to do, we're doing. The furniture has arrived, not only the furniture, but clothes, toys, tables, chairs. The people in Toronto responded very well. The groups that I was working with was like Fenswick and Basic and Basic newspaper, and was really surprised and moved by the whole experience of it all. Got to meet a whole lot of people again, and like I said, the people are taking it very well.
Though, however much a success this furniture and clothing drive was, both project organizers and the people of Mishkeegogamang know well that it can't begin to address a housing crisis that has less to do with harsh weather and more to do with the harsh policies of Canadian colonialism.
There's no insulation. This cabin here, it freezes in the winter time, I guess. Look at that, you see the big hole there with this thing, is the only thing that's to keep out the cold, I guess. He puts the mattress next to in front of the window there. There's no insulation on the floor, yeah? I guess where all the cold air comes.
Meet Tom Wasikisik. He's a councillor of 16 years who's seen it all. He spoke to us of the impossible task of running a reserve on the trickle of payments coming in from the feds, while billions of dollars worth of hydropower, lumber, and minerals are being pulled out of the region each year. Tom invited us into his home in Mish and spoke to us from the couch he calls his bed, as the other rooms of his house are packed up with family and other community members who have nowhere else to live.
When I started the housing regime, I wasn't in favor of it back in 1997 because I told the chief and council and others, we had a community meeting about it. I said, it's a violation of our treaty rights, treaty number 9. I said, having to not pay rent for housing, and but the argument was that they, if people paid rent, they're more likely to take care of their houses. We pay the mortgage on them, and some of the money to pay that mortgage is recovered through the collection of rent. The rest of it, if we don't, as Chief Connie has said more than once, the money will come from the minor capital funding of $500,000 a year, at which every band gets.
So in other words, the community's $500,000 in annual capital funds, along with people's rent checks, are being taken right back to pay the mortgage to an agency of the Canadian government, leaving little funds left for repairs and new housing construction. This leaves residents of Mishkeegogamang with the options of crowding in with others, living in ill-equipped cabins off reserve like the ones Tom showed us up the road in Pickle Lake, or creating their own makeshift structures. Lazarus, who is severely disabled, has been living with his son in this tarp structure for months while he waits for his house to be repaired.
I've been waiting for a while to get my house to get done. Maybe about 4 months already. I just need to go to home. The kind of situations that I've been through, and my health that I'm not really healthy or anything like that.
The crowding and housing shortage on the reserve means that community members are pushed into the neighbouring town of Pickle Lake, Ontario's most northerly non-native community. With a population of just a couple hundred and a relatively large police detachment, many from Mish face harassment and brutality at the hands of this OPP outpost.
Like I've been tasered 3 times just being intoxicated. Yeah. So usually some people get go down to your boxes and sleep on the floor. But they give you looks like a horse blanket. A thick canvas blanket, I think they call it. They don't give you mattresses, they don't give you water. But you got
the harassment, brutality, and degrading treatment Ralph Spade has faced at the hands of the OPP is shared by others of Mishkeegogamang. George Skunk explained to Basics how he was tasered without provocation.
Kept pulling me in. Then I have arthritic pain on my knees, and as soon as he pulled me forward, then my knee gave in, and the other cop that I was attacking, I kind of slipped down, and the cop went down with me, and the cop, one of those 3 there, that shot me right in the right shoulder first, and the second one came on the other side.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place, homelessness, and the violence and criminalization faced by being out in the streets, what happens to those who are taking their housing needs into their own hands? Darlene Nakan, an Ojibway woman from the next reserve to the south, made headlines across the country over the past 2 years for building a log cabin on her traditional trap lines, as well as a plywood house in Savant Lake on her family's ancestral land. Nikan is now facing thousands of dollars in fines from the Ministry of Natural Resources.
This is all Anishinaabe land, unorganized Indian land, unpatented, and this is the plywood house that I built that M&R wants me to get a permit for, to abide by their laws and rules, and but me and Anishinaabe here, I stand my ground, and this is where I'm going to live, and this is probably where I'm going to say goodbye to the world from.
While there were some renovations happening in Mish while Basics was there, by all accounts there's just not enough money to build new and repair old housing. An abundance of resources there may be in the ancestral lands of the Ojibway. These are not benefiting the people who are native to this region. The net result? People are being pushed off the reserve, criminalized, and then getting caught up in Canada's so-called justice system, making the problems of reserve life not a corruption question or poor management question, but a colonial question. This is Steve De Silva reporting for Basics Community News Service from Mishkeegogamang First Nation, Treaty 9, Ojibway Territories.
Damn, this res life, it's getting dirty, hardcore depression like I'm living in the dirties. And even kids now, they got them 30s ready to blast at a party. Man, it isn't pretty. I know you heard me, but are you listening? Through the bottles getting smashed just like it was a christening. Just put the whiskey in a cup and mix it in with the words I'm speaking, and you see the light like Christians. How could you just look at me with judgment in your eyes? You ain't seen the ups and downs, the struggles of my life, and I've been trying since birth just to break this curse, but it just gets worse.
And that's what I really find really, why would they put up a Canadian flag and like, you don't even get any benefits from living in this country. Why the heck would they put up a flag?